One sec, Russell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
I'll
sure.
start now.
Hello, good evening, all. Hello, everyone, and warm welcome to all the participants who are joining
Thank
to
you.
this
Thank you.
webinar on Portrait of Humanity. Okay, we have participants from all over India and abroad as well. I think I can see few are from Dubai mostly. Okay, and Knowledge Nibbles, as you all know, is a webinar series, is an initiative by Photowalk Bengaluru due to coronavirus outbreak has disturbed everything, including our regular photo walks. So we started this webinar. So this is our fourth in line. I hope today's webinar on portraits will help all of us to refine our skills in capturing human emotions. And better than Donald, I don't know anyone else who can capture emotions in human. Okay, now I have few rules to follow all the participants. Ajay, you have got that this thing? Okay. First of all, I want all of you to mute your video and even the audio during the presentation. And uh, so once the session gets over, presentation gets over, then we will open the room, open up. So for the question and answer. So whatever questions you have, please note down. And once the question and answer session starts, you can ask Donald directly. Yeah, that is how it works. And yeah, that's it. And now I would like to welcome Donell Gumiran, okay, our today's guest speaker. We are very honored to have Donell online today with us. To introduce Donell, Donell is a Dubai artist of Filipino origin, a passionate photographer. Okay, and he sees himself as an image maker who captures and tells a story in a photograph. His photographs are an art of form and born from his desire to create on canvas and his professional training in design. Donell is known for his innovative portraits and travel photography. His favorite subjects are those that capture human conditions and emotion in everyday life. His knack of sharing his stories captured through the lenses have won him international recognitions. He is the recipient of numerous awards, both local and international. Donell is also contributor photographer for Asian Geography magazine. Um, to mention few of his awards, he has won Travel Photo Awards, Remote Expeditions, London and Paris, Grand Prize winner 2020, Fine Art Photo Awards, London First Place winner 2020, Annual Fine Arts Festival, Art and Photography, UAE First Place winner 2020, Black and White Spider Awards, USA Photographer of the Year 2019, Asia Geography Magazine 20-year celebration Singapore voted best cover 2019. Le Prix de la Photographie de Paris, France gold 2019. Tokyo Photo Award Japan gold 2019. Moscow Photo Award winner 2019. The Independent Photo Travel Award Berlin Germany first place winner 2018. International Photography Awards Documentary Award Harmony USA first place winner 2018. Urban Art Festival Dubai UAE Curtin Dubai's Photographer of the Year 2018. Life Framer International Award London, New York, Japan and Paris winner 2018. Annie Dangle Award Vice Office of the President Philippines Visual Arts Awardee 2018, 2019 and 2020. Asian Geography Images of Asia Singapore Portrait Photographer of the Year 2017. Travel Photographer Society Kuala Lumpur Malaysia Grand Prize winner 2017. These are the few awards that Donald have won. I have mentioned. There are many more. I don't think the time permits us to say all those things. Uh, Donald, it's really a pleasure to have you on board with us today, and I hope all our participants will be are very excited and waiting to see your presentation and the way of capturing the human emotions. So there you go, Donald. This is up to for you now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Before anything else, just want to thank you so much, guys. Thank you for this event. I'm really sorry that I'm not that really good now. Right now, I'm not feeling well because maybe Dubai is getting more winter. They changed the weather. But anyway, just want to thank you, Photowalk Bengaluru. for giving this an opportunity, and to all the participants, all the artists, and collaboration. It's not about because I'm the one who participate or whatever. So I just want to have a collaboration right now. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right or wrong. By the way, let's start, because normally I started with my video clips. Let's say make it around maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just a clip for you guys. For those who are not familiar with my style, so I just want to play 2 minutes of my photography, and then let's go through on the second part, which is my journey with regards to photography. Okay, so just want to play it. Huh? Okay, thank you so much. That's just want to. Okay, so I don't want to start with the basic one. I started my photography way back 2009, and it's just a basic because I'm working as a designer. And then one of my friends introduced me into photography. So it's like what happened is like I just want to go into photography just because of to earn money. That's just simple like that. But then photography gave me an inspiration. So for me, photography is just freedom. Uh, Last year I resigned because I just want to have freedom on my photography. So for me, photography is freedom. They give me an opportunity to travel and to meet people and capture everyday life. So that's what photography gives me an inspiration to travel and to give a freedom. So I just give you some inspiration. So um, I just want to go into directly on my journey with regards to photography. So when I started my photography, basically, of course, as a newbie, we started with, let's say, different kind of approach. We have landscape, whatever. But end of the day, I was really fascinated with this kind of portraits and travel photography. So when I started shooting my subject, I feel like photography is going to be my passions, not my profession, because I'm working as a designer as well. So I feel like this is my outlet. Um, Photography is for me is not like a taking photo of graphics or whatever. For me, photography is not about seeing at all, but it's about feeling. So if you're taking photo or designing, it's not about seeing only the graphic itself, but it's you're going to be working with about seeing and about feeling. So that's how I define photography. Of course, normally I don't have any of the techniques or whatever, but I shoot what I feel. So I don't have this before when I taking photo. I don't have this kind of what kind. This is street photography. This is portrait, or this is documentary. It's not about like that. I just want to have my photo and click, and I shoot what I feel. So there's no such of techniques on creating phenomenal photo. Um, I shoot what I love. So when I travel, I go to street, whatever, and I shoot what I love. There's no sense of techniques. And then, of course, when I started my photography in Dubai, I feel like I love to shoot culture. This is one of my photo in Dubai. So I started my journey with regards to photography. I really fascinated with the culture of Dubai, because in Dubai it's really tough to take photo of this kind of subject. And then also, I love like kind of head and shoulder kind of stuff, just simple, bold, and straightforward portraits. And also, later on, I was really fascinated with the black and white, because it's more you creating your photograph the soul of your subject. So I was really fascinated with the black lately. And then of course, I really love to work with kind of atmospheric effect, like it's look like golden. This is what I feel when I created this photo. Of course, it's later on I love to work with the black and white, at the same time with something a documentary, or with a little bit a story behind on my photos, not about only a head and shoulder photograph. So before we start go through with my journey, uh, let's give you a little bit inspiration how I started my photography. Way back when I was in the Philippines, I was really inspired by the word before, because my father and mom are separated. So I work alone, and I work in the street, blah, 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 something like that. And then, of course, I feel like my job right now as a photographer is to record the history. It's not about your taking photo. You need to have this gut, a job to record the history. That's really, really important. And then, of course, when I started my photography, because I love to paint, I was really inspired with this kind of classics and Renaissance artists, because I love the way the simplicity and the powerful, and the way the colors itself, whatever, the lights, compositions, it's very, very classic. And then when I see this painting of the great artist, somewhere in the European, I was really inspired. I really want to have this kind of photography. So I tried to mimic this kind of style. And eventually, some of my friends asked me to have, let's say, Donna, why don't you have a little workshop? And I thought, okay, I can start my own workshop, but I really want to have kind of distinct style of photography. Then this give me an inspirations of a photography that look like a Renaissance painting. So that's around, I think, 2010, 2011, 2000, something like that. So I started my photography workshop, and this, of course, that time I processed my photo based it look like a painting. So it's a combinations of actual photo shoot, editing, whatever. So I tried my photo to be look like a painting. It's like creating into canvas into photography. And this is what some of my workshop before 2013, 2014. So when you see my photo before, it's like a combinations of fine arts, portraits, but then at the end of the day, it's like you're trying to draw the image or the graphic itself. But one of my friend introduced me to travel, and that's I was really inspired going to India. One of my uh, uh, you know uh, a place that I want to take a photo is in India, because one of my inspirations, like a photographer like Steve McCurry, I was really inspired for this photo. And then when I give him an opportunity to go to travel, and then the first thing I want to go into in India. So when I was in India, I really love to go with the kids. I was also went to Pakistan as well. So when I started travel, I love to work with the kids, because I think it's more pure, more relaxed, and there's no sense of something like that. It's a very, very simple, and you're gonna be happy with them. Um, yeah, that's it. And then of course, end of the day, when I take photo, when remember when I took let's say a workshop, because you're trying to make fake, because when you shoot on the actual, when you shoot on the actual travel, you really want to capture the human experience. That's why I want to love to take a photo. So when I started traveling, this is what I really want to go, a human experience. And then eventually, this is one of my shots when I travel in India, in different places. So when you see the style of my photography before, it's look like a combinations of Renaissance. It's head and shoulders simple, but it's more on how you try to achieve the color combinations, the color harmony, the look and feel. So of course, when I take a photo, of course I'm using different lenses, and then came back to Dubai and process my photo and how I create. So this is some of my portraits photo in different places when I travel, and then this is some of my shots in India and Pakistan. This is what I love also. So when you see the mood, it's more it's a shadow look and feel, dark. So I want something this kind of style when I started my photography traveling, and then of course I try to really want my photo to be, you know, kind of monotone type of style. I don't want to have colors to be too much vibrant. I want something color to be one tone. So I try to process my photo based on what I feel, something like that. And then, of course, this is some of the, of course, I don't want some, also, you need to introduce also colors, but I try to use up to 2 colors or 3 colors. More than 3 colors are too much already for me. So I'll try to have this kind of stuff, 2 colors to have this contrast. And then, and that kind of situations, I was given an opportunity to go to let's say compete with competitions in Singapore, and I was voted of the best cover in Asian Geographic for 20 years, and also I won portrait photographer. So that's what I you know, when you created something not exactly unique, your own style, people will recognize you in the end of the day. So that's one of my shots. And then some of my friends, even some of my co-photographers, this is, they always ask about with regards to photography, what makes a powerful photo. Always, even my friend, they will ask me how. There's no such kind of techniques on how to create powerful photo, but this is one of my, you know, kind of stuff. Maybe for me, photography is the most important elements that make your photo to be powerful is emotions. So I'm not kind of a person or photographer that focus on the lights, focus on the compositions, focus on that should be given as an artist. If you are shooting different, let's say, documentary, your photo should have perfectly balanced. Your photo should be perfectly exposed. So what's really, really important for me in photography, it's emotion. So every time I shoot people, I try to make to be, the emotion should be raw. Okay, my works is done by feelings. So I really want to have this guts to take a photo with feelings, emotions to convey huge amount. That's really, really important to me. If I feel that my photo is, there's no feeling at all, I feel that's lack of interest. Um, this is one of the how I, you know, balance my as a photographer. You have this kind rapport that you need to have to select your subject, and then of course you need to, you are the one who person to tell that it's gonna be like this or whatever. So this is the kind of triangle I created. Um, of course, in emotion, in a portrait photography, what's really, 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 really important is emotions. So of course, under emotions, you need to have a perfectly moments candid. The way you took the photo should be candid. And of course, emotion with regards to lights, how you create lights, atmospherics, that's also emotions. How you compose your subject, directly tell the story, that's also emotions. And the last part in how you process your photo, in how you convert your photo. It's also in emotions. Let's say colored, you try to make it one color tone, you try to make it black and white. So these four elements are also under emotions. So they feel that it's composition is not emotion. No, for me, these four are really important to create perfectly emotions. Okay, so I'll give you some of my tips on how to shoot, or some photo that I shoot during my travel moments. So um, when I took photo, when I was, let's say I'm going to travel, I'm not kind of person that not like too much creating. I need to, try to compose whatever perfectly balanced. What I first thing I do is to trust my instinct. So whatever let's say whatever a subject in my front, it's try to trust my instinct to what kind of style are going to use. So that's really important as a photographer and as an artist. So trust your instinct. Do you think if this photo should be very good in terms of, let's say, using telephoto lens, shoot it. Don't think too much. Okay, so here, because I try to have this instinct, I feel to work with, let's say, in wide lens, because I feel that this wide lens is I want to have lots of informations on my photo. So that's what you think. I feel like I have that instinct. And then I'll try to take photo. I was in Ethiopia. Instead of shooting like basic one, I try to take photo on the top. So because I want something, when I took that photo, there's something unique or kind of angle. So it's also an instinct. And then also most of the photographers are scared to shooting, let's say, in high contrast, let's say 12 o'clock. Lots of photographers, they will tell you like, don't shoot on let's say on the high or high key, whatever. But end of the day, it's about the mood. When you go to Africa, most of the weather are too much high. So this is the uh, uh, let's say time to take a photo. That's the mood. So when I take a photo, I feel like this photo will be really good into black and white. So I try to take that photo. So it's about instinct as well. So here, of course, in the Philippines, of course, you try to take a photo with the movement. So for instinct, you know that there's a subject, there's a movement. So try to your photo to be little your your motion is a little bit more slow to have this kind of effect. And then, of course, how to use the angle, what lens they're going to use, the emotion. So I was there to take a photo, and then, of course, I took that in the Philippines as well. Of course, when you go to travel, when take a photo, we don't have this kind of language. So it's always a problem with us, language barrier. So it's really important that smile is your language. So when I go to taking photos, especially people, I always take smile, because that's really important. So normally when I take photo, I go to kids, dealing with them, chatting with them, because I think they're more pure. This is also a shoot in Pakistan. And of course, you know that there's certain area that's it's not that really tough, because it's in a border of Pakistan and Afghanistan. But end of the day, I saw this people in Pakistan that I feel no. My driver told me, don't go out. No, I feel I want to talk with them. Then I realized that if you are this kind of rapport and you have this guts to smile, people are born are respected, and they're okay. So I was there shooting, and they keep smiling. I think it's okay. And then, of course, when you take photo, always be respectful. That's really important. End of the day, you're gonna have a problem. And I was in Pakistan, and then this is his father, and then I asked permission to take photos. So you should be very respectful as well. And then I was in Ethiopia, and I asked the permission to his father that can I take a photo of your son, and then they give me an opportunity to take photo. So that's also you need to be very, depends on how you're going to take a photo. And then also anticipate the moments. What's really important is when you are guts and you are always have this, practice makes perfect. the anticipation, the anticipate the moments, it's only a plus for you because you know already how to take photo or to anticipate the moments. So of course, was and also in Korea last January, I already anticipate what will happen because I feel that there's something, scene that I feel that something will be blown away. So I was there, but the problem is there's people on front of me, and I think it's still quite okay. But anticipate the moments, and I was also in India in Zero Valley, and I was really feel like there's a movement, so anticipate the moment as well. And this is in Georgia, and you know how to. I know that there's a certain arc, and then because you anticipate the moment, I feel that there's something people will come on on the top. So that's how you try to create the scene. So anticipate the moments as well. What's really important in travel and also taking photo of people in portraits, it's the real and candid. That's why I started traveling. When I taking photo here in Dubai studio, whatever, I feel that not like that candid. But that's why when travel introduced me, I feel that real and candid is really, really important and powerful. So one aspect to why real and candids are really important. One technique is let them decide for their emotion, shoot everyday life. Meaning when you are on the actual event, let them whatever they want. If they try, they work like this, or they work, or they talk like this. Let's give them real candid moments. And the good thing when I'm shooting long lens, before I'm only using like wide and 24-70, but when I started traveling, I feel that using zoom lens is also powerful because nobody will see you, and you can zoom it. You can if you are near, you can somebody will see you, and then there's the situation is gonna be fake. So one technique that give me right now is using a zoom lens. I know it's really tough, but if you try to do this also, shooting with long lens in travel, it's also very, very good because you captured the moments and candid. Also, here, the good thing using with the wide lens, because now they never know that you're shooting them exactly because you're shooting. If you're shooting wide lens, it's easy because it's easy to use because it's gonna be all are sharp. You don't even your photo is gonna be like even you put your camera into 3.5 something like that 2.8. Eventually, all of these are gonna be sharp. So I loved shooting also with wide lens, and I always go in traveling to take a candid moment. Sometimes we even I was in let's say in the car because I love to shoot people the candid. Sometimes this shot was in I was inside the car and I'm traveling and taking photo. I feel it's look like 19 or 1920s with very classic black and white. It's people will see us. Okay, we'll tell you, oh, your photo is like blur, but end of the day about the emotions. And of course, I love to shoot with the daily lives often best are convey personality. So for me, sometimes taking photo, don't overanalyze because when we normally started shooting as a photographer, we too much create something too much, overanalyze the situations. So don't overanalyze the situation. Try to take photo as well as simple as like that. So here the people will even some of my friends will ask your photo will be a dead center, but end of the day it's powerful. This is one of the competitions, dead center. There's no such too much, but because I think the emotions is more powerful, I think this photo is really, really good stuff as well. This shot was shooting in mobile phone. This is a mobile phone, so sometimes love to shoot in mobile using mobile phone. So sometimes when you're shooting mobile, it's they give you create something more impact because they feel it's only small let's say small mobile. And then I was in India in Zero Valley, and I feel this photo is a little blur, not that sharp but the emotion itself and I convert it to black and white is powerful. Yeah, of course, compositions, most of us are really, really, obsessed with the word compositions. And it's really, really important. And one of the hardest things to create your powerful photo was really a compositions. That's one of the top aspect on photography. But this is one of my style or inspirations how to take photo with regards to compositions. Let's back on the basic one. You are, when you say compositions, you are responsible for placement the subject to point of interest. You are the responsible. Meaning, when you take a photo, you should know where exactly the subject, and then some additional elements that convey your subject story later on, point of interest. And then when I think about compositions, because I'm working as a designer, I think compositions, it's about shapes. I'll always think about shape. For me, there's a lot of rationale using a lot of shape. As a designer, when if your compositions is more on rectangle, meaning it's reveal like look like a timeless. If your composition it's more on circle, whatever, it's more that's more on poetic. If your compositions is basically more on triangle, whatever, it's look like a very dynamic and a very something like that, creative. And then if your compositions is more on on a square, it's gonna be solid. So this kind of shapes represents composition as well, because end of the day, compositions is like they give not give you a rule, but they give you only a, let's say, a guide, no? So when you read this one, it's love as well. It's look like word love, Love. So love. So when you think shape, think love. Okay. And then, of course, as a designer, I always been inspired by natural design. So this is what I created my compositions with regards to photography. What's really, really important is the compositions is basically came from the natural geometry. That's, nobody create uh, natural geometry or creating compositions, only the natural, meaning it's about nature. So when you are creating compositions, let's go to basic. Uh, let's go to the nature or whatever, natural phenomena, whatever. These compositions are there already in front of us. So try to inspire, try to get inspirations from nature. This is what I, as a designer, okay. And then of course, one of the compositions is like, of course, this is nature's home, the perfect form of shape. So this is one of the compositions, let's say golden. Okay, next. Composition is just a guide, okay? And this is some of the rules. There's a lot of compositions. So of course, some of them for you guys that you're already there, especially the photographer has already knowledge with regards to compositions. They know already this one, but some of the photographers are newbie here. Some of the techniques creating these compositions are rules of thirds, golden rectangle, golden triangle, and golden spiral. These are the most one of the hardest and most powerful compositions you ever make. Okay. Of course, I'll give you a sample of my let's say photo that creates something diagonal and triangle. So here, this photo was won in Paris last month. It's one of the winning photo. So when you see this photo, it's look like simple, but when you analyze these compositions, will give you a lot of drive. Let's say this one, it's a diagonal. Okay, this is diagonal. This is diagonal as well. Okay, so you'll see diagonal there, and then later on you will see the triangle. Okay, triangle as well. You can see the triangle, and so you really to be very very details oriented with regards to compositions. And this is also triangle. And one of my photo that really got into compositions is this photo. this photo was won several images, several awards and different competitions. But I think later on, I only recognize that there's a lot of big style of compositions on this photo. So I'll show you some of unique compositions why this photo is powerful. Okay, here you can see the golden spiral. One, in one single photo, you'll see a lot of compositions. Okay, two, you have this golden triangle. This way, composing helps you introduce elements of very dynamic. So meaning if you are using golden triangle, you create something very, you're actually introducing elements that are very, very dynamic tension. Okay, so when you're trying to use golden triangle, it's very dynamic. Okay, and then of course, the basic one, the most popular are rules of third. So you see, you have this rules of third, and then when you see this, there's also a framing here. See, you can see the photo there behind. There's a story behind, so there's also a frame there. Okay, if you see, there's also a diagonal, leading lines, triangle. So in one single photo, you actually find a lot of compositions. That's why the photo is so powerful. And of course, if you are into, already there, you know already how to compose properly, now you can actually create out of the box. So one of the out of the box creating compositions is the word dynamic symmetry. Dynamic symmetry is one of this provoking theories based on the rules of third. It's utilized the series of diagonal and rectangles that identify points of impact. So that's actually there. So you can find this in Google, whatever. So try to manage to find these compositions. It blown away. It's really, really good. So try to compose your subject in a dynamics. Most of the painter, master of photography, they normally use this one, dynamic symmetry. So if you have time, go to Google, check this one. It's really, really powerful. Dynamic symmetry. Okay, and then later on, if I have time, I can skip this one because this is video.
It could be.
Okay, I don't want to have this. It's too much. And then, of course, eye contact is really, really important. So I love something, there's a mystery on the eye, and the eye is very poetic. So try to compose your photo frame, feel the frame, but sometimes because it's going to be focused on the eye. So I love my photo something, feel the frame as well. And then I try to...
काम में था आज ना darling.
Right?
अच्छा, okay.
Can you... Okay.
Excuse me, participants request you to please mute.
Okay, okay, Russell, now?
Yeah, you can
Okay,
go
fine.
ahead.
Sorry for that. Okay, so...
Sorry.
Okay, fine, no problem. And then try to crop your photo into certain that's very creative. Here, I try to crop because I want to focus on the eye. So the eye contact is more really, really important here. And then, of course, what's really important when you taking photo of portraits, always look for the layer of informations. Really, really important. So meaning backgrounds matters, really, really important. So if you are documentary photographers and you focus on working with portraits, a layer of information is really, really important. They give you more impact, okay? So here, I know there's a wall, and then there's one kid in India, and then I know there's a lot of information. I don't know exactly what's the meaning behind, but I feel that there's a story behind of these kids, and that's the layer of informations. And then, of course, there's a lot of photo. I was in Ethiopia, Philippines. So have you seen the lots of graphics behind? So meaning when you take a photo as well, it's not about head and shoulder only. You can have this layer of information. You can have this photo behind. Don't be afraid cropping your photo like maybe this very destructive. But end of the day, if you think that your photo, your portrait will give you additional informations in your subject, try to have this layer of informations. Here in India as well, I try to work with the black and white because the colors are it's vibrant. So I want to to get this one in one singular image. So you see the portrait of a lady, and then you see there's a look like a mimic the same photo. So it's a layer of informations. And then of course, don't forget to attention into details. I tried my photo to be more have a content rather than, you know, busy, but try to compose into relevant situations. So yeah, details are also really important to compose. And then I feel this photo is really composed well, and at the same time, there's a lot of graphics and emotions. So, and then also this kind of, so you see the lot of contents, too much graphic behind, but I feel the layer informations, attention to details are really important on this subject. Okay, of course also head and shoulder, but you can find a lot of you know, dirty clothes behind the wall, and that's attention and detail. When you take photo, also take an opportunity to see the backgrounds itself. Again, then also here was in Ethiopia, because attention and detail, see, because they are trying to, you know, talk about the coffee, and at the same time, so of course as a designer, as a photographer, you have the right to see, oh, this is coffee. So attention to details, I need to take the photo with this kind of backgrounds, because I feel that there's no sense like flat background. So that's what we call attention and details. Okay, of course, if we try to be always to be very dynamic, and of course try to take photo of a wide land. This is in also in India, and then try to compose layer. But you know, this is kind of stuff. There's a lot of photographers using this kind of stuff, but it's really tough, because you need to be very on that situations, very creative. And then of course try to have this kind of creative as well, using compositions, framing, whatever. So try to out of the box, cropping. Most of my shots was crop. Let's say most of the like a powerful photo like Magnum photographer, I was really inspired doing this kind of stuff, because it's look like when you cut the subject, it's look like real. Yeah, sometimes it's love. This is the way sometimes love to shoot with long lens, because sometimes you create something different from the subject. Okay, next, yeah, this is also in Pakistan. And yeah, of course, when you take photo, you need to have the orientation, you know, try to have this kind. So when you take photo, try to have this different orientation. Russell, try to make it fast, so maybe check. And then, of course, lights.
Sorry, Donell.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll try to continue.
No, you can just go slow. No,
Okay.
no rush. Not to rush. It's
Okay,
okay.
okay. That's not a
Okay, we
problem.
have a lot of time. Your
Okay, okay.
presentation is really good.
Okay.
You don't want to miss on anything.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of a person that I love to work with natural light, because I feel it's natural light is more candid, it's more natural, and there's no such too much when you go to travel. So I love to work with natural lights. This is one example using natural light, and yeah, this is natural light in India. This is in Ethiopia, and then also in India. So all of this stuff using natural light, and also this is natural light. But I try to take this opportunity to look like a you know, kind of black and white photo. And all of this stuff are natural light. So, and then of course, because I love to work with a very classic lighting, when I tried to draw, and I was really inspired with the great Renaissance artists. So sometimes I used to love working with classic lighting. I was really inspired by the Renaissance artists. So that's why I love to work with one light. And yeah, I was really inspired by, this is some of the, you know, kind of, if you are using available lights or LED lights. So on the left side, you have this kind, this is the effect when you are using higher than 45 degree. That's actually Rembrandt. This is Rembrandt lighting. And then you have this lower than 45, and this is 45 above angle. So that's the basic one. You can find this different, let's say. So when I started working with available lights or LED, so I tried to make a mimic that's look like a classic kind of stuff. So this is using LED lights, and this is natural light. But the tone, the feel, the look and feel are look like inspired by the Renaissance artists. That's why I love to work with light and shadow and dark. Okay, and then of course you need to be very flexible. And then sometimes when you go to travel, there's a certain situations that you don't have the proper lights. So the best thing that normally had is to have to bring your LED lights very small. And in terms of, let's say, low light situations, you have this let's say time to use your LED lights. So normally I have the small LED lights, and if I go to travel, I have always on my pack. And then this is using LED lights, but it still look like natural because in that situations I don't have lights at all. So it's too much dark. And then I saw one a very powerful portrait, and I don't have this ambient light or available light. So it's good. It's good that I have this LED light. So yes, you can bring your LED, and also this is also using LED lights. And yeah, this is also using. You can actually manipulate using LED. You can put different angle when you use LED lights. Okay. Of course, if you are trying to catch the catch light, the catch light, so you try always put your model or your subject on the shade area. So you see that all of my photo was on, always my subject. I put my subject always on the shade area to capture the catch light. You see you can find the catch light here. Okay, you see me there. So it's catch light. And then of course here, also in India. And of course, how to introduce colors, how you see the colors itself. So colors, it's how you try to convey message, try to convey message on the viewers. At the same time, colors are really important. If you are, let's say, an artist or a photographer, you will see that your subject will be really good in terms of black and white. So that's colored. Maybe this photo are trying to convey more on vivid, whatever. So colors are really important on how you capture it. So for me, of course, when I saw you, I love to work with Renaissance. The colors is look like Renaissance painting. I tried to mimic this kind of stuff. This is what I love my photo to be, but it's in a photographic way. So the tone of my portraits is basically more on warm, but because I was really inspired of creating this portrait effect. And then of course later on when started traveling, I feel like I want something new. And that time, because I always let's say I'm always buy books and getting a lot of information inspired with different photographer, then I feel like I want to have something new on my subject. So black and white started give me value on my photo as just to make it something different. But yeah, okay. So I was in Pakistan, and then when I see this photo, that photo was not really good at all. But when I see that photo on the actual event, I feel like this photo, it's really good into black and white. So this is the way I see the photo. So when you are also a photographer that you love black and white, you will actually recognize that situations are really good in black and white. So meaning this photo is not that really good at all. But when I see this, when I convert it to black and white, and I see this is really good into black and white. So that's why I took this photo. So I won this I won this photo in US as a black and white photographer of the year. So it's quite simple, but end of the day, how you treat the subject and how you convert the black and white, it's so powerful. So yeah, so that's why I was really inspired creating my photo into black and white. So I was in India, and then most of the travel photographer and most people there, photographer, was really inspired with the color because of the vibrant. But end of the day, it's not because I don't want, with due respect with the India, uh, I just want to capture more in soul. That's why I convert my photo into black and white. I really want to convey my message to through portraits using in black and white images. So basically, there's no color at all, but you're focusing on the emotions. So that's why I love to work also in black and white. This photo was in Pakistan in a remote area. It's the backgrounds are in Kalas Valley. It's actually near in Afghanistan. This photo was really great for me because it's look like you are coming back from the old black and white photographer or black and white photography, because I was really really inspired with the, let's say, magnum photographers. And then of course, when you treat your subject, you try to, because black and white is working with the black and working with the white, but you have a millions of gray. So this one, it's black and white, but it's actually working with gray tone. So it's not really hard. It's really hard working with the black and white, because they thought working with black and white, it's working with the black and white, but you have working on the middle, you have a millions of gray. So that's one hardest thing when you convert your photo into black and white. So you thought that it's black and white, that quite easy. For me, it's one of the hardest thing when you convert your black and white, because the way you treat your subject into black and white is how you treat your subject on the actual event. So yeah, there's like contrast, maybe it's faded. So there's a lot of techniques on creating your black and white. So almost 3 years when I started introduced to black and white, there's a lot, I feel that there's a lot of techniques on creating black and white. So yeah, and then of course, lately, 2020, I was really invited some of my friends in Southeast Asia, and then that time I was like, I'm really stressed creating kind of stuff, portrait, whatever, travel, and then I feel I just want to create something, my own project. So that's another level or another project. So I feel like if I'm going to travel right now, I want something, my photo to be very look like documentary portraits, or something you have you captured the essence of a place, whatever. So I want to have this kind of project. So the last city or country that I was travel is in Ethiopia. So I was in Omo Valley. So sorry, I was in Omo Valley. So I was to try to document the people there. So the beauty of Omo Valley is a series of portraits. So this is when I go there, I have already a kind of research that if I'm going to Africa, I want to have a portrait of series of Africa or vanishing tribe, something like that. So one of them was in Ethiopia. So when I travel to Ethiopia, I have already this on my mind. So I just want to share to you guys some of my portraits, taking photo of portraits in Ethiopia, in Africa. So of course, I don't want to be very, kind of stuff. So still, the kind of style of my portraits was head and shoulder. And then, of course, it's really good because it's something new for me. Straightforward, head and shoulder. Yeah, this is one of the series that I took portraits in Utopia. And then, of course, I tried to kind of work with lights, dark and shadow, something different, something dark, because this is my style. And so this is some of the series that I took photo. There's a lot of photo actually, but I don't have the time to put this on the slide. And then, yeah, this is kind of stuff, very natural. People there are more, kind of working with there's a lot of contrast, dark, light, whatever. So this is one of the kind of series taking photo of in Ethiopia. So I love to work with dark. So that's why I have my own, I try to convey, or I have to try to have my own identity with regards to my portraits, because, you know, end of the day, there's a lot of really good portrait photographer. There's a lot of, you know, really good photographer, but end of the day, you need to have your own distinct style of photography. So that's why I love to work with light and shadow, how you treat your subject, how you treat your compose, how to create your colors. And then, yeah, I want something, I try to make the colors so it's still a little bit warm. Okay, so yeah, of course, some of them I need to have in colored, a little bit subtle, pastel, something like that. I'll try to, you know, try to create something new on my portrait. But end of the day, it's very simple, straightforward, head and shoulder. And then try to create something kind of documentary, because I was really inspired with a documentary photographer. So you how to try to convey message. So something like that. Also a series of portraits, and then after that, before I went to Ethiopia, I have already kind of research with regards of people there. So one of my project, one of my, like, this is my personal project. One of the project that I took there in Ethiopia is Mingi. Mingi word is it's a curse. Like in Ethiopia, this is long way back, 100 years ago or 100 years ago. So there's a ritual or whatever they call it Mingi. If a children teeth first appeared on the upper gum instead of the bottom gum, they born out of wedlock, disabled or whatever. Okay, they were actually literally murdered. They were killed, and they put this. Let's say they put it in on the water, whatever. They killed their own. Let's say. Own child, whatever, born or something like that. So that's actually the ritual. So when I see this, when I have this opportunity to go there and to document, because I have this already on my mind and have this research. So when I was there, and I have a lot of friends, co-photographer, I was there. Donell, what are you doing? And I didn't tell that. No, I have already on my mind, because I want to have to document this, because they are actually shooting different portraits, whatever. But I was there to document this kind of stuff. So it's a curse, it's a ritual, it's their culture. It's not there's something wrong, but this is already their culture, whatever. So this is one of my, you know, personal project, as I want to have this kind of style of my portraits, portraits of humanity, because sometimes one photo cannot give you a lot of information. Sometimes you need to have a couple of series of photo to have to identify or to share to the world that there's something, you know, kind of stuff, this kind of stuff in a certain situation. So I created this scene. So I took this opportunity and took this documentary portrait. So yeah, so I was there, and I was really happy, because I'm a kind of a person or photographer that I don't want to capture more on a negative aspect of photography. So meaning, if they are alive, meaning they are not the Mingi. So I don't want to take photo of child like they are killing. So I don't want like something like that. I want my subject to be revealed to be on a very positive aspect. So I was there and then talked to them, but I don't want to take an opportunity to ask them what is Mingi. But I was really happy that I see this kind of situations that they are alive, okay, they are, and I was really there and taking photo of purely black and white, because it's you actually taking photo of their soul. And then I was really happy, and then this is one of the scene that I take photo in Ethiopia, and then I see that they are happy. I was really happy because they are alive, and then of course, of course, I am kind of photographer that I love to shoot the emotions. And then, you know, because I was really inspired by the Magnum photographer, how they crop their photo black and white. That's I tried to, you know, to be something like that kind of portraits, environmental portraits, something like that, black and white. So I tried to create something new on my portraits later on. And then, of course, if you're taking photo of this, you need to be very, you know, respectful as well. Of course, when I took that photo, and then after that, I was really shocked that this situation. I don't want to take control, and of course, I give them some, you know, benefits. I give some little bit on my side. I give some little bit, you know, food, whatever, because I was really, you know, I don't want to take advantage. So I'm really happy on this kind of stuff. And yeah, this is some of the photo that I took photo a Mingi child. And then I tried my photo to be look like a series of dark light working with the black and white. This is a series of Mingi child. And then yeah, I work with this kind of stuff. I went to the remote area and then taking photo using, you know, different lenses, whatever. So I was really there. And then I'll try to make it more a lot of contents. I don't want to be, you know, very clean. Something I want something a lot of environmental portraits on this stage. And then of course, because I was really inspired with that kind of rapport or kind of documentary photography, but in more in portraits. So I love to work with wide lens, because if you're using wide lens, nobody knows that you are exactly shooting in front of their face. Maybe if you're shooting wide lens, you're shooting on the right side, but of course, if it's wide, you take that opportunity to get that all seen, okay? And then, of course, this is one of the series of black and white photo in Ethiopia. So I was really happy that because I have only 12 days to go there, and it's really, really expensive because you need to go there and in a remote area. And I'm really happy because quite nice. Still, I need to come back again. I think I need to come back and to get that more informations. But yeah, I'm really happy on what the result it is. And then this is, if you see the style of my photography, I try to be very infinite or very dynamic. I used to work with wide lens. I used to work with zoom lens. I used to work with 24-70 mid lens. So if you see this photo, I'm shooting with different lenses. Here on the left side, I'm using wide lens. On the center, I'm using zoom lens. And then on the right side, I'm using 24-70. Now you are actually the curator. You see what the best lens when you are on the actual event. So it's about you're also taking what to call this exercise or inspiration how to take photo as well. And then of course I'll try to come back with the dark, because you don't know sometimes how you treat your subject. So yeah, this is some of the series that I took a photo. And then the last part is how you post-process your photo. It's actually debatable, because some of the purists tell me, no, blah blah blah, whatever, your photo is too much dark. You delete, remove, whatever. For me, I'm an artist, and I really believe on this aspect. Post-process, it's how you treat the subject. That's why you need to process your photo, because as an artist, it's your to convey how you treat your subject at all. So if you're going to put some dark light and shadow, it's how you develop your subject into reality. So for me, I really believe that in terms of photography, there's no such raw in photography at all, because if you are using zoom lens, you already fake it, because our eyes is not zoom. If you are using wide lens, where our eyes is not wide at all, and the mechanism from the photo, our camera at all is not 100% at all, because it's not only perfect with regards to let's say exposure, whatever. So for me, this is what I feel with regards to people were not convinced with regards to raw, whatever. So for me, once you took the picture, you already removed from reality, meaning there's no 99% it's not already removed. You already removed from reality. From the reality. The picture is not reality, only the human eye. That's how I made my explanation, because the only perfect or the only what it calls reality is our eye. But when you already took in our camera 99.9%, it's not already reality. You already removed from reality. That's how I convey the only thing. Wait. Okay. Just hold on. Hold on. Give me. Just a minute. Sorry, somebody.
No worries, Donell. Yeah, carry on.
Hold on, somebody. Okay. Is something wrong with my? Wait, hold on. Okay, next. Okay. Of course, people will ask me what software I'm using. Normally, I'm using Adobe Photoshop. I'm using Nik software, and normally working with RAW. Okay, Camera RAW, and then people will ask me with regards what setting I'm using. Of course, most of my setting is I learned to work with aperture and shutter speed and ISO. So that's really also important. So I used to love to work with RAW. Most of my photo was a single AF point. I used to love working with aperture priority. And of course, we are in new generations. You love to work with autofocus. This is some of the tips and tricks on creating my photo. I love to work with three lenses. I love to work with super wide lens. It depends on what camera are you using. So I love to work with super wide lens, and I love to work with the 24-70, and of course I have 70. So normally when I travel, I use these three lenses. And what I love to work mostly is to work with wide lens, wide angle. Because if you're using wide angle, I can use every quickly without focusing. So if you're using wide lens, it's easy to focus without try to focusing. So it's quick because you're working with the wide lens. And then yeah, some of the tips and techniques. You're almost done. And then yeah, the best thing is the persistence. You as an artist, we are all creative, but end of the day, there's a lot of talented people there, talented photographer, artists, who whatever, but not everyone prepared to work hard. That's really important. It's not like open field, whatever, or finish overnight. I always say this on my workshop that it's not about the technical aspect, it's the perfections of the frame and the human factor. So most of us, even me before when I started in photography, I was really inspired of a technical aspect, kind of lights, whatever, compositions, whatever, how to process, what camera we're going to use, what lenses, whatever. But photographer, me, some of us are they are totally focused on the technical aspect, but we forgot the human factor. So that's really important. This is what I love to work always. Great pictures, great pictures have a story behind always. Even the photo it's really important how you transmit the emotions. Okay. Lately, if you are there already, you need to be very selective on your subject. So nowadays, if you are going to compositions, if you are already there 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, a photographer, already, you captured already what you really want. But later on, you're gonna be very selective on what your subject. End of the day, today, it's about the the subject matter. So you need to be very selective. And then, of course, Russell, you always share your work and join the community, because sometimes, even me, I always share my photo. It's not because you try to convey whatever your message, but then people will see your photo, and you don't know, you never know. Sometimes people will inspire from your photo, and you join the proper community, because a photographer knows best sometimes. Maybe you don't know your photo is good. Sometimes you feel your photo is good, but you never know. And then, of course, if somebody will ask me later on, this is some of my, quite photographer that I was really inspired. Of course, Steve McCurry, Andre Cortez, Sebastian Salgado, Henry Cartier-Bresson, James Nathway, and Fano. This is some of the photographers that I really admire their works. But another day, sometimes there's newbie photographer that when I see their photo, I was really inspired. So it's not about this only my guide but I was really inspired for their photo. And then, of course, make photography as fun. Don't make it too much serious. And for me, really, really important right now is like buy knowledge, not gear. So I love to buy books. I have a couple of small gear, and then this is really, really important. You buy knowledge, not the gear. And of course, thank you so much, Russell, for you guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity, giving me inspirations to be there, to be here, and of course, we are like collaborations and new integration. Let's try to collaborate. Maybe after this COVID, we will come there and go there and taking photo. What really matters right now is try to collaborate. That's the most important, because this is really, for me, I really believe on this. And of course, if you have time, you just follow me on Instagram, Donell Gumiran Photography. You have here, so you can snapshot this. And yeah, I think we're done. And if you will still have time, so let's have this Q&A, and then we're almost done.
Yeah, thanks, Donell. That was really, really good. That was one of the best presentation I have come across.
Really?
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, it was good. Hope there were some pictures of yours. Yeah, anyways, guys, now we will start our question and answer session. So if anyone